Good morning, everyone. Starting out, going uphill first thing this morning. It's a beautiful, beautiful brisk morning. Had a wonderful sleep in the shelter last night. And I'm raring to go for today. Today's gonna be, at least planned to be, a 19.6 mile day to Birch Run Shelter. We'll see if I extend that or not. But that's the plan for now. Should have some views on the way. Starting my first full day in Pennsylvania. Gonna see what these rocks are all about. Pennsylvania is affectionately referred to as Rocksylvania by hikers. But realistically, we'll see if it's as rocky as they say, because Virginia and Maryland had their fair share of rocks too. It's gonna be a beautiful day. Thanks for joining me. All right, everybody, starting off early this morning. Gonna take a little short blue blaze to Chimney Rocks, just near the summit of Buzzard Peak, which is what we just climbed. Hopefully there's a view. Oh, yes. Good morning, AT. And good morning, Pennsylvania. This is actually our first view of Pennsylvania. It's a little breezy. I bet this would have been a good sunrise. I swear those early views fuel me. They really do. I know it probably sounds cliche, but it really does. It's nice to be rewarded with an achievement after your first climb of the day. Makes all other climbs worth it. Even if there is no view, just the prospect of something on the horizon is really what drives me and what led me to want to do this in the first place. Such a beautiful, beautiful area of our country. The Appalachian Trail always provides. So far in southern PA, the trail is not that bad. It varies from this sort of easy grade, smooth trail with just some scattered rocks here and there. But then every once in a while, so far, there's a boulder climb thrown in. But all in all, So far, the boulder climbs have been short duration and the terrain has been very easy. We're about 7.5 miles into the day, and it's kind of been a pleasurable hike so far. So the trail brings us right alongside Saldona State Park, which is really convenient because they have trash cans. They have a restroom as well, but I'm more interested about unloading some trash. It's nice that the AT passes right through this park. They actually have a campground. You have to check in with the office to camp here. I'm not sure what the fee might be, but I think a convenient thing for a place like this is that it's very close proximity to Fayetteville, Pennsylvania, which means if you did camp here, you could probably order food delivery. I could go for a pizza about right now. Right, this is the Quarry Gap Shelters. I'm gonna stop here for lunch. So before I head out, I wanted to show you some of the things about the Quarry Gap Shelter. It's very well maintained. They have some platforms for tents. Those are the first tent platforms that I've seen. Of course, they have the swing. They have some benches. Aesthetically, they have some potted plants. And one of the shelters looks like maybe a tree had hit the roof, so it's shut down, but the other shelter is perfectly intact. The caretaker for the shelters has left magazines, board games, and things like that. And inside, they are very clean. Terrific place to stop. So I realize this is only day one in Pennsylvania, or I should say the first full day in Pennsylvania. But so far, I think Pennsylvania is a joy to walk in, at least southern PA. The terrain is very forgiving in terms of grade. There are, just these generally really smooth patches. Now, so far, there have been some rocky patches, even a few areas where there were some boulders. But so far, not any different than what I experienced in Maryland or even Virginia. It's been relatively just very smooth. This is a cabin owned by the Potomac Appalachian Trail Club, or the PATC. It's available for rent to the public. Thru-hikers can't stay here unless they're renting it. But the good news is it's got a really nice water source. This old pine forest is the prettiest thing I've seen all day. Reminds me of Roan Mountain. Well, everybody, we are just under a mile away from the Birch Run Shelter, and so that's where I will be staying today. So once I am done, it will be a 19.6 mile day for me. I had hoped to stretch it out in to another location to get 20 miles in. But I think staying at Birch Run Shelter sets me up for a much better day tomorrow. The Birch Run Shelter is at mile marker 1095.2. And there's no mile marker, I get it, but along the Appalachian Trail, it is at mile 1095.2, which means I'm 2 miles away from the halfway point. Halfway between Springer Mountain and Mount Katahdin in Maine. It's gonna be a great way, I think, to start the day tomorrow. Now, on top of that, it puts me at 4.8 miles away from reaching the 1100 mile mark. So I'm gonna have these 2 milestones really early in the day tomorrow. And if that wasn't enough, it puts me at about 9 miles away from Pine Grove Furnace, which is where the half-gallon challenge occurs. For those of you that don't know, it is Thru-Hiker tradition that when you reach the halfway point, you stop at Pine Grove Furnace at the general store and attempt to eat a half-gallon of ice cream in one sitting. I think I'm about to destroy some ice cream. So those are 3 big milestones that I'm looking forward to tomorrow. And stopping at Birch Run Shelter, I believe, sets me up in the best position for all of those. First of all, hiking 9 miles to Pine Grove Furnace allows me to build up a little bit of hunger in the morning for that half-gallon of ice cream. So that's gonna be the plan. So we're almost at the shelter. I'll see you there. So this is the Birch Run Shelter, everyone. This is where I'll be staying tonight. I haven't made up my mind if I'm gonna tent or shelter. I'll let the shelter conditions be the judge of that. But as you can see, it has a covered picnic table. But what makes this one unique from among the other shelters that we've seen so far is bunk beds. Pretty neat. Other than that, it's got some bear poles, it's got some nice open areas for tents.